all these folks coming from Israel. There was a Jewish kitchen right at the
Oh,
border,
wow.
and they were serving free food to anybody who was crossing the border. So that was beautiful.
So when you got there, was there a lot of other people like you guys helping from different parts of the world, or are they just kind of isolated there?
Well, the group from I think the World Consciousness Alliance or Act Global or whatever that group was, there were a few people there. There was one lady from Canada. There was one a Serbian guy who wasn't actually there, but he was part of the group. But there weren't like an overwhelming number of people like us. It was I think it was you, me, and Santosh were the only ones from America. Yeah, three. We were just
There was
three.
not a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
but at the border though, at the border,
Yeah.
we had a lot of people, a lot of non-governmental organization NGOs from all parts of the world. They had kind of staked. There was a big Jewish tent. That all these folks coming from Israel. There was a Jewish kitchen right at the
Oh,
border,
wow.
and they were serving free food to anybody who was crossing the border. So that was beautiful. We got to spend some time right. There were tents right at the border of these NGOs that either didn't want to go on the other side. So
Or they were just the purpose was to serve at the
Yeah.
border crossing, because the border crossing is something that I have never seen before in my life. Like like a how many like 20, 30 kilometers of trucks were lined up trying to get across crossing the border both ways,
Hmm.
and it would take 3 or 4 days for these supplies to come into Ukraine.
So you
And
waited. So you waited in line for 3 or 4 days. Is that right?
well, no, we didn't wait in the truck line. That was a supply truck line. But there were also, buses of people, like packed buses of people crossing the border back and forth. And so there were a lot of these tents that were sort of there to help the border crossing run more smoothly, and because these people were coming kind of with nothing,
Yeah.
either coming into Romania or going back to Ukraine.
Yeah. I
Um,
imagine that's a tough spot for the government to be in too, because there's not a lot of they have to protect that, right? Like you just don't want free flow, everybody going in and out.
right.
And how like when you guys were where you had your concert and where you were going to the homes, where's the actual? How far away is the actual war where the armies are positioned? Was that a couple miles? Is it 10 miles? Like how far away was that?
No, it's quite a bit more than that.
it's quite a bit
Yeah.
more than that. I would say maybe 40, 50 miles from
Okay.
where there was active stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah.
There was some military presence at the bridges and stuff. There was in the downtown. There was some those anti-tank things
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But nothing major. There were people with machine guns and stuff roaming around, but there was not a lot. Right, not a lot. I think the reason we went in that area was it's increasingly becoming difficult for Russia to maintain a war in
Yeah.
such a large country,
Yeah.
and we were on the other side of the country, and so it was not. I mean, the military presence was there, but
Yeah, but
nothing.
still 50 miles is not that. I mean, that's not that far. It's not like it's a
No.
crazy distance away. You can shoot a rocket 50 miles. So I don't want to
Well,
downplay it.
I mean, there were definitely. I mean, the reality is that Russia has long range missiles and all these different types of bombs and things like
Yeah.
that. And there's always a threat of those things
Yeah.
coming our way. And Ukraine is the largest country in Europe, and the war. When we were there, the war had only extended halfway,
Mm,
like halfway, like west, so sort of in the
hmm.
middle.
Hmm.
And we were sort of like down here, like
Got it.
southwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes
It's
sense.
quite opposite for you, but yeah, southwest. So um, I think we were in an area that was concentrated with displaced Ukrainians
So
who
that's where
needed,
everybody's kind of moving towards
yeah,
and
right.
okay, that makes total sense.